guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and welcome to day 20 of the Cracklathon, where I'm doing a crackle veneer every single day for a whole month. So today we are going to be using some translucent coloured Pardo clay to create a really nice mokume gane crackle with metal leaf. So I know that you can take translucent clay and you can mix some alcohol inks in with it to create translucent coloured clay. So if you don't have Pardo, feel free to do that. But today I do want to go on a tiny sidetrack and I want to show you guys how to condition Pardo easily. So first thing to do when you're going to be buying Pardo is just make sure that you get a good seller that sells it fairly often so that they are nice and as fresh as they possibly can be when they arrive. So these are the colours that I have got, and one is translucent, light blue translucent, the other one is lilac translucent. And I got these from Linda's Art Spot. And now I got them probably roughly 3 or 4 months ago, so they've been sitting on the shelf for a while, so they're not as fresh as they were when they first arrived, but I want to show you how to condition them really easily. So just chop off pieces and make sure that they're I'd say about 2mm thick or less. The thinner they are, the easier. Then put them together like so, and then grab a hairdryer. It really helps if you have a hairdryer for this, and I'm going to be using my heat gun on the low setting, but a hairdryer will work perfectly fine. Okay, and I'm going to warm up my tile. Now you don't want it to be too hot, you want it to be pleasantly warm. And that's pleasantly warm, it should not burn your hand. Pop your clay down onto that, then gently warm up the surface of the clay using your hairdryer too. And that should do it. And I was pressing just to see whether it was warm or not. Now put that through the pasta machine straight away. And you can see it runs through cleanly. And then just continue conditioning it like you would normally. And it will stiffen up again because it will get cold due to the rollers making it cold. And then just condition it. You need to fold it probably close to about 20 times until you get a nice looking piece like this. Okay, and then you should end up with 2 nicely conditioned pieces of clay like this. Okay, so that is fairly easy. So now what we want to do is we want to take this, and I want to run this through my pasta machine on my middle setting, which is about 1mm thick. Like so. I will repeat with this one as well. Okay, then I'm going to take it down to my second thinner setting, which is probably about 0.5mm thick, and run it through. And because it's not a super soft clay, it should run through just fine, like so. Then before you move on, make sure you trim away any excess because we're going to be using metal leaf, and I don't really want metal leaf on bits of clay that I am not going to end up using. So just grab that and trim away, and repeat with the blue one as well. So hopefully that helped clear up a bit as far as the Pardo goes, because I have been getting a few comments on and off about how to condition Pardo, and if you don't get it from a good seller, it is really hard to condition. You can still condition it using that technique that I showed, but it still will be quite hard. So make sure that you get it from a good seller. 2 sellers that are good are Linda's Art Spot, based in America, and Happy Things is a really good seller, and Over the Rainbow for Aussies as well. So 3 sellers work really well. Right, so now that they are trimmed, grab some metal leaf, and I'm just going to bring that over. There we go. And this is one that I supply in my shop. It's a little bit different from the one that I usually use, in that it's a little bit stiffer, so it's a little easier to work with. So just slip that down. There we go. It's kind of an in-between Lisa Pavelka's foil and the really whispery paper thin metal leaf. There we go. You can see that smooths down pretty easily. Okay. And then if you have excess around the edges, trim that off and apply it. And repeat for this one until all of them have a layer of metal leaf on them. Okay, and here is how they should end up looking. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just take this and we're going to lift it up. And I'm going to stack it. And then just make sure to smooth thoroughly so that it is stuck. Just trim away this excess bit over here. There we go. And then I'm going to run that through the pasta machine one time on my middle setting, which is 1 millimeter thick. Okay, and I'll just wipe away any issues. And then cut it in half. Stack, and I will run that through the same setting. Actually no, I'm going to run that through my thickest setting first. I'm going to take that down one, one more, just so I'm going to stop one up from my middle setting. So this is about, oh, I'd say about 1.4 millimeter. Now trim away any excess bits. Basically you need to do it, and when you're doing it you need to just make sure that your metal leaf does not crackle too much. So you can make it thicker or thinner as much as you want, just don't allow the metal leaf to get too thin. So your pasta machine might differ, will probably differ from mine. So just, you'll need to feel it out as you go. Just get your sheets before you put them through a pasta machine on your thinnest setting that you possibly can go down to, and then from there stack it as many times as you possibly can before the metal leaf gets too thin. And this is probably the maximum that I would go to. Stack one more time. And I don't think I'm going to stack again. Okay. Then I'm just going to press that and roll it out a little bit. Just need to quickly clean up my roller. There we go. Okay, like so. And then have it nicely stuck down to your tile, and then I'm going to bring over a flexible blade to do this next bit. Take that and dip and shave, and dip and come back up. So don't go too deep. You want to have some control over it. Basically just dip in and then come back up. This is a very forgiving technique. There we go. And generally I'll stop about there and just trim away the excess bits around the edges. And it's still relatively thick, which is good. And then take these bits, and I like to just stick them together like so. So you end up with two veneers. And I've made a fairly small version, but the more clay you use, the more slices you're going to get out of it. There we go. Okay, and I might just slice that over there. Bring that over there. There we go. And then this extra little bits and pieces that we had cut off from our tutorial, take that, mix that together so that it creates a solid colour, and we're going to use that as a backing. Okay, just quickly pick that up, and here is what that looks like. Looks really pretty. And place that on top. Then for both of them you're going to need a piece of plain printing paper, and lay that over the top and burnish thoroughly. And I've done this technique before. I actually have a project to go with it, so I'm going to provide a link to that in the description below the video. If this one gets voted as the most popular crackle this month, I'll be doing another project next month. So if you want to vote for this crackle as your favourite, join my group, Jessama Tutorials Polymer Clay Community on Facebook. I'll have a link to that in the description below. I'll have a poll at the end of the month to vote for which crackle was our favourite, and the most popular one will get a project next month. So be sure to check that out. There we are. And now any exposed leaf will get sanded off later, which is fine. So it will get cleaned up. So don't worry about that. And I'm going to do the same for this one as well. Just give a really nice thorough burnish to flatten it out and make it look three-dimensional but flat at the same time. So hopefully that Pardo trick was helpful to you. It will work across just about any polymer clay brand. So if you've got hard polymer clay and you're having trouble with it, so long as it's not semi-cured, that technique should help. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to create a little project with this, just so that I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so I cut out a piece, baked it, sanded it, and then put a layer of resin on it. And here is what it looks like. So you can see the huge difference there between the colour. The colours will always get darker. You'll be able to see a lot more of that silver leaf as well. And also if you put the resin on it, it will produce a really beautiful kind of 3D effect. So let me just show you that. If I rotate this around, so you can see how beautiful that is. Get shifts of colour in all different directions, and it just looks really nice. So that is basically it for this tutorial. I hope you did enjoy it. I'll provide a link to a project that I've done with this technique before, and the video that I've done on this technique before, so check that out. It'll be in the description below the video. Remember to join my group, Jessama Tutorials Polymer Clay Community, to vote for the crackle if it is your favourite one. And remember to check back on all of the previous day's crackles. There are a lot of them by now. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.